Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to the channel, because today we have massive breaking news surrounding the Dallas Cowboys that is sending shockwaves through the NFL world right now, and if you are a Cowboys fan, you need to stick with me until the very end of this video, because what we are about to break down could completely reshape the future of this franchise, the identity of this defense, and the direction of this team moving forward, as reports and strong signals are now pointing to Jim Schwartz being officially revealed as the new defensive coordinator. And this is not just a routine coaching update, this is a potentially franchise-altering move that could change everything we have seen from the Cowboys defense over the last several seasons. For weeks now, there has been tension, speculation, behind-the-scenes whispers, and mounting pressure within the Cowboys organization, especially after another season that ended with more questions than answers. And one of the biggest questions hovering over this team was the direction of the defense. Because while the Cowboys have had moments of dominance, splash plays, and headline-grabbing turnovers, there has also been inconsistency, playoff collapses, and games where the defense simply did not get off the field when it mattered most, and that frustration reached a boiling point among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. That is why today's development feels so urgent and so significant, because Jim Schwartz is not just any defensive coach. This is a veteran coordinator with a reputation across the league as a tone setter, a culture builder, and a no-nonsense football mind who has transformed defenses everywhere he has gone. And when his name started surfacing in connection with the Cowboys, it immediately raised eyebrows around the NFL. Because this would signal a clear shift in philosophy, accountability, and aggression on the defensive side of the ball. Now let's talk about why this matters so much. Because Jim Schwartz brings with him decades of experience, including coordinating elite defenses, coaching dominant defensive lines, and building units that are feared, disciplined, and fundamentally sound. And one of the biggest criticisms of the Cowboys defense in recent years has been that while the talent is undeniable, the execution in big moments has not always matched the hype, and that is exactly where Schwartz thrives, because his defenses are known for being physical, assignment sound, and relentless for all four quarters. The word coming out of league circles is that this move has been in the works longer than people realize, and that Dallas has been quietly evaluating every possible option to get this defense to the next level. Because Jerry Jones understands something very important right now: the window to win with this roster is not open forever. And the Cowboys cannot afford to waste another season with elite offensive talent, while the defense fails to rise to the occasion when the lights are brightest. What makes this revelation even more shocking is the timing, because this comes at a moment when the Cowboys are under immense pressure from fans and media to prove that they are serious about winning championships and not just division titles or regular season success. And bringing in a coach like Jim Schwartz sends a clear message that Dallas is ready to prioritize toughness, discipline, and results over comfort and familiarity. When you look at Schwartz's defensive philosophy, it becomes clear why this move is being viewed as such a big surprise. Because he is known for aggressive fronts, heavy pressure packages, and a defensive line-centric approach that demands maximum effort from every player on every snap. And if you think about the Cowboys' current roster, especially on the defensive front, the potential fit is explosive. Because this is a team loaded with pass rushers, athletic linebackers, and playmaking defensive backs who could thrive under a more structured and demanding system. One of the biggest changes fans could see immediately under Jim Schwartz is a renewed emphasis on stopping the run, because while Dallas has had flashy sack totals and interceptions, there have been games where opposing teams simply ran the ball down their throats, controlled the clock, and kept the Cowboys' offense off the field, and Schwartz has built his reputation on eliminating exactly that weakness. Because his defenses are designed to win at the line of scrimmage first, forcing offenses to predictable passing situations where the pass rush can take over. Another key point here is accountability, and this is something insiders keep bringing up when talking about Jim Schwartz, because he is known as a coach who holds players responsible for their assignments, effort, and preparation. And that kind of culture shift could be exactly what the Cowboys need, especially after seasons where mental mistakes, blown coverages, and missed tackles have cost them dearly in critical moments. This potential hiring also has major implications for individual players, and Cowboys fans should be paying close attention to this, because a new defensive coordinator often means new roles, new responsibilities, and sometimes even breakout seasons for players who finally get put in the right system. And with Schwartz's history of maximizing defensive line talent, there is already speculation that some Cowboys defenders could be poised for career years if this transition becomes official. The NFL world is reacting strongly to this news, with analysts calling it one of the most intriguing potential coaching moves of the offseason, because Jim Schwartz is widely respected among players and coaches alike, and his track record speaks for itself. And when a franchise like the Dallas Cowboys makes a move like this, it is never just about one season. It is about redefining identity and sending a message to the rest of the league. What makes this even more dramatic is how quietly this all unfolded, because there were no major leaks, no constant media chatter, just subtle signs and insider hints that something big was coming. And now that the dots are connecting, it is becoming clear that Dallas may have been planning this shakeup as part of a larger vision to finally break through in the postseason. There is also an emotional layer to this story, because Cowboys fans have been through years of heartbreak, close calls, and unmet expectations, and every offseason brings hope mixed with skepticism. But this move feels different to many people, because it addresses one of the most consistent criticisms of the team in a direct and aggressive way, rather than trying to patch things up or make minor tweaks. If Jim Schwartz is indeed officially revealed as the new defensive coordinator, it could also influence future roster decisions, because coaches like him often want specific types of players who fit their system, which could lead to changes in free agency, the draft, and even surprise trades, all aimed at building a defense that reflects his philosophy and standards. From a strategic standpoint, this could also change how opposing teams prepare for the Cowboys, because Schwartz's defenses are notoriously difficult to game plan against, especially when they are clicking, and that could give Dallas a real edge in divisional matchups and high-stakes games where preparation and adaptability are everything. Another important angle here is leadership, because the defensive coordinator is not just a play caller, he is a leader of men, and Jim Schwartz has a reputation for commanding respect in the locker room, which could help unify the defense and create a stronger sense of purpose and urgency across the entire team. As this news continues to develop, fans are already debating what this means for the Cowboys' championship chances. And while no coaching hire guarantees success, history shows that strong defensive leadership is often a key ingredient in Super Bowl runs, and Dallas knows this better than anyone, given the franchise's storied past. There is also the broader context of the NFC, which is becoming increasingly competitive, and if the Cowboys want to stay ahead of rising contenders, they cannot afford to stand still, and this potential move signals that Dallas is willing to take bold steps to keep pace and push forward. What we are witnessing right now could be the beginning of a new chapter for the Cowboys defense, one defined by toughness, consistency, and a refusal to collapse under pressure. And for fans who have been begging for change, this revelation feels like validation that their voices are finally being heard. Of course, there are still details to be finalized and official confirmations to come, but the momentum behind this news is undeniable, and the fact that Jim Schwartz's name is now being firmly connected to the Cowboys in this role is enough to spark excitement, debate, and cautious optimism across the fanbase. As more information emerges, we will be watching closely to see how players react, how the organization frames this move, and what it means for the upcoming season, because if this hire becomes official, it will be one of the most talked about defensive coordinator changes in recent memory. This is not just another Cowboys headline, this is a potential turning point, a signal that the franchise understands the urgency of the moment and is willing to make uncomfortable decisions to chase greatness. And that is why today's news feels so big, so surprising, and so important. Cowboys Nation, this is the kind of development that can reignite belief, reshape expectations, and redefine what this team is capable of. And while the work still has to be done on the field, it all starts with leadership, vision, and the willingness to evolve, and Jim Schwartz represents all of that in one move. So stay locked in, because this story is far from over, and as soon as we get official confirmation and more details about how this defense will look under new leadership, we will break it all down right here. And if you want to stay ahead of every major Cowboys update, breaking news, and in-depth analysis, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a thing. Because Cowboys football is entering a critical phase, and you do not want to miss what comes next.